Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast. My name is Jędrek.
My name is Masha.
And this is the 42nd episode of the Thinking Out Loud. Masha, did you know
No,
that?
wait, no. Really?
42nd, the 42nd. I
Oh
don't know
my
why I'm mentioning
God.
42nd, that I'm not waiting with that till number 50 or something.
Why didn't you
but
do it when it was the 40th?
why? Because I
Ah,
didn't know. Because I didn't know.
okay,
Right now,
okay. It tells a
I
lot.
have access to more advanced analytics. So this is what you got. All right.
Ooh, who
Yeah,
would
I
have
just
thought?
yeah, who would have thought, it's gonna be journey of 42 episodes and counting. Great. Today we have the pleasure to host another special guest. Each guest is special, right, Masha?
Of course.
So and this time around it's a guest from Ukraine. So, Masha, why don't you maybe tell us something about our guest?
It's a very special guest because it's not a learner, it's a teacher. Yeah.
It's a teacher. All right.
So
Great.
Tamara is our colleague, yes. And she's from Ukraine, a teacher from Ukraine. And she's actually right now based in Ukraine. And we kind of both know her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know your story, but I got to know Tamara in Barcelona during the Innovate ELT conference last year. And all I can say, she's a great person, and I'm really glad she's here with us. Masha, what is your story actually? How do you know each other?
Well, she organized lots of events for teachers, back in the days when people traveled to Ukraine. That's his chance, and this is how we met. Yeah.
All right. So hi, Tamara.
Hi guys. Yeah, it's really nice to be here, and I'm really happy that it turned out that I first found out about the podcast from Jędrek, but then it turned out I actually know Masha too. So when you guys, invited me, I felt like it would be really cozy to be here with the two people I already know and who know a little bit about me. I'm excited.
Great. Yeah, I'd like to, before we get down to this, thinking out loud proper, I'd like to know a little bit about you, and your work especially. Who are you working with? Where are you working? Is it online, offline? And what are you actually doing professionally?
Yeah, okay. Well, I've been a teacher for my whole life. I started straight after the uni. And I kind of got lucky, I think, because I got straight into the proper English teaching, because my first job was with a big language school, was here in Odessa, where I am now. And then I did my CELTA after a year of working there. After that, I relocated to Kyiv, where I found another job with the British Council. So again, I got lots of experience there. I worked there for 5 years. And then it happened so that while I was doing my Delta, I got into the lexical approach. That's how I met Hugh Deller, and that's how we started making events. So I first invited him to Ukraine because really I wanted to popularize this approach. So I invited him, and the first event turned out to be really successful, and I thought that I can continue doing that. So I did that for about 2 years, invited different speakers from abroad, also Ukrainian.
Now I know why Hugh is such a champion of the Ukrainian cause on Twitter, I guess.
Oh, you mean why he's cheering so much for Ukraine?
Yeah.
I think, what Hugh is doing now is very big, very meaningful, means a lot to Ukrainians, because as you know, also he was, or at least he is, I don't know, maybe used to be already a fan of the whole Eastern Europe.
I know actually he traveled a lot to Poland, to Ukraine, but also
and to
Russia.
Yeah.
To Russia a lot, yeah. So that's the thing, yeah. So basically, lots of his clients are there, and he has connection to the people there, to the places there. However, he did kind of sacrifice it. I don't know if it was. I'm not sure it was a sacrifice for him. Probably this is just something that he wanted to do. He felt
I wish Masha, by the way, we could have him on the show. You know, I mean, just to ask about even this stuff. You know, it's really interesting. But I don't know. It's just an idea. You know.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But
very special guest.
But from what you say, Tamara, you
so
you're involved in like the organizational part of our profession. I mean, organizing events and so on, or are you actually teaching?
Yes, I'm teaching a lot. Yes, I haven't finished. So I did the events for 2 years. At that time, I would say I taught, it coincided with the shift of me going, being self-employed. So at that moment, I did the events stuff and also had my one-to-one students mostly. And after working like that for around 2 years, I realized I can actually make groups of learners. So now I'm totally self-employed, working with groups online. I'm not that much into events organization now. But once again, I don't know, in summer, one of the guests and my friends now, Chris Rowland, also suggested we do a charity conference. So after a long break of organizing things, I did it again. Oops. And it was good. So I don't know, I might do it again, maybe in another format. I'm kind of, looking, I'm the kind of person, I don't know, I get excited about stuff, but then I'm maybe not the kind of person who can do the same kind of stuff for a long time. So even now I'm teaching my groups, I'm teaching my online groups. It's been, it's been 2 years, but with the groups I have now, it's been almost a year that we're together.
So I need to ask, did COVID push you online, or did you get there kind of?
Question, but actually started before COVID. Just because I realized it actually all started. So I was still working for a school, but I think I was already doing events, and at around that time I wanted to refresh on my German, and I came across an online school. So I became a student of an online school, and
this is where you got inspiration. Yeah,
exactly, and that's where I thought, I like this format. I like the fact that I don't need to commute. I don't. So if the lesson is an hour, then I need an hour. I need to find an hour for studying. I don't need 2 or 3 hours, to go there, then drink coffee, talk to someone. You know how it happens. So I decided I also want to teach this way, and also because one of my values is maybe being mobile, traveling, even before the war, I was in Kiev, but I liked coming to Odessa. So even if it's inside one country, but I like to be on the move.
Mobile.
And actually, I'm not really a social media person. I see things from time to time, but I think Tamara has a second job, if I'm not mistaken, profession, let's say, occupation. Am I right?
Oh,
what is it? I don't know.
Or maybe you have more ski instructor. Is it?
Oh, right.
Is it something you did?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it.
Occupation.
It would be an exaggeration to call it a job. But yeah, that's true. It was 2 years ago. I decided to do. So I like skiing. It's kind of my hobby. And so I decided, I just found out that you can do a course for instructors here in Ukraine, in Bukovel. And after that, so you can do the course and you can work as an instructor. So what I did is I went there, I did the course, and I decided to stay in the mountains. But I had to, so I need to say that I had to plan it all in advance. So I knew, I don't know, let's say in September, that in December I will be going there. So I started saving up money because I knew I will not be working in my regular job.
Day job.
Yeah, it was a great winter. 1.5 months in mountains, doing a completely different job.
Wow.
Which is,
well, it's also teaching, you know, it's also teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like there are some similarities, but in a way, I mean, maybe it's because you're working for someone, whereas like usually I'm self-employed. So there it was just, I don't know, skiing. It's just like in teaching. Well, first of all, and when you're self-employed, you need to think about other stuff like managing all the stuff. Yeah. So teaching is only part of it, and then the other part is managing. So here there was no management. You don't have to manage anything. No responsibility. Well, I mean, you're responsible in the lesson, during the lesson, but you can totally forget about work after it's done. So it was great rest, I would say.
Right. I think, you know, this is inspiring. I need to reevaluate my life, you know, because, you know, I'd like to have a side
hustle
project like that, you know. Yeah.
Investor, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
You
know,
are.
I actually, you know, but come on, you know, it's just stress, nothing else.
Yeah. I'm not
like
sure that
some
would
fun.
be a good, you know, addition. Yeah, it's going to be like too stressful. I think that my aspiration would be to have, like, in the future, to really have 2 jobs at least, and one of them would be like a dream of it to be connected with like more the body thing, because teaching is more about the mind, the brains, the thinking.
I think, Masha, you know, I mean, we are left without any alternative as far as the question is concerned, you know, because everything is kind of, you know, suggesting what we should ask.
Such a smooth transition. Yeah, play the sound.
Exactly. So we've arrived at this very moment, you know.
Round 1.
So, Masha, do us the favor, you know, and
no. Ask
the
question. Come on, ask.
All right, right.
Yeah.
So, Tamara, I think you're the perfect person to ask this very question. What's the difference between teaching and training?
And training, you mean?
And perhaps, yeah. And so, if we go further, I mean, what's the difference between a teacher and a trainer? And
you mean like a teacher trainer?
No, like skiing. It's not called skiing teacher. It's for some reason it's called skiing instructor, right?
And you know, in football, for example, you've got a coach who is also called a trainer. It's not a teacher of football. And now my question and our question is, what's the difference between teaching and training?
Okay.
Where's the line?
And why then, can I add also to that, why then it's called a teacher trainer, right? Why is it not a teacher?
Yeah,
teacher,
you're right.
Whatever,
there is that kind of, you know, leg, let's say, of our profession, you know, where you can actually, well, teach other teachers, but we don't call it teaching, we call it training.
Yes,
teacher. I don't know. So let's go step by step, and let's not forget that this show is made for learners. So let's, you know, try to
not use TTT, ICQ, and CCQ. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be like, you know, generalists, you know.
Okay.
And let's use general English.
Okay, is the word collocation a general English word?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I was thinking it's quite a difficult question, and maybe if my learners asked me in the lesson like what the difference is between these words, I would probably go exploring the lexical, like how they actually work with other words. So maybe it's not that much about the meaning, although we can infer the meaning from the collocations. So for sport, we can notice, that for sports, let's think instructor. So as you said, ski instructor. When I go to the gym, but then gym trainer, driving instructor.
Instructor.
Okay.
But then you have maths teacher.
Math teacher, yeah. So everything that, like English teacher, math teacher. So everything that is connected to school subjects, would be PE teacher,
but at the same time, if we go like the big scale, Jesus was a teacher. Wasn't a trainer. He wasn't a trainer, training people. But he was a teacher, and the same, of course, refers to all the gurus like Buddha and Muhammad,
But actually, it's very nice what Tamara said, like a couple of minutes ago. The two jobs, one of them connected to the body, and the other to the mind. So maybe there's something here, like football, driving, skiing. There's always,
Yeah, but how do you explain this teacher trainer? I mean.
But then, how do you explain the teacher trainer? Also think that if we talk about like football coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he a good one would not be just telling them how to kick the ball, I assume, right? But would be guiding them. So so for me, teaching is kind of about guidance.
Definitely.
But then I cannot see how a coach would not be guiding people.
So, I mean, I wonder if because coaching today is something that grew into, I don't know, some kind of a separate
big thing.
Separate let's say sector of the economy, and I wonder actually if this coaching is just a trendy name, or is there any like logical explanation for why it's being called coaching and not teaching or training? But then again, coaching and training to me seem to be quite close.
Yeah, and also just kind of notice that many teachers now don't like to be called teachers; they want to be called coaches or trainers. So
I'm an English coach.
Yeah, I'm an English coach. Yeah, so teacher has become like this. Not
it's a passé,
derivative, even.
It's not sexy anymore.
Exactly. Let's make teaching sexy again.
Has it ever been? I'm sorry.
Yeah, true.
It used to be.
Okay, let's make teaching sexy.
Well,
I think it
Socrates.
Used to be.
Are you talking about Socrates? Maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe, but
I think.
I don't know, but I think on the one hand, I don't know the history. I probably am going to say something stupid, but I think that a lot of professions have been in our part of the world destroyed because of the system. There was a negative selection, blah blah. And the worst graduates who didn't know what to do with their life were becoming teachers. And I think on the other side, there's this brutal market economy that turned our profession into a joke. I mean, financially and in other aspects, So definitely, the job has lost its prestige. I think it used to have it. I mean, being a teacher used to be. I mean, being a teacher meant belonging to the elite. It no longer does.
But then again, are we talking about like university?
I think.
What do we call them then?
Professors, you mean?
Professors, right?
Oh, that's your nick.
That's my nickname. Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah, actually, some people. Yeah, it's funny because some people thought that I'm an actual professor, like I have a PhD. But that was actually a nickname just given to me by one of my colleagues.
But wait a second, isn't actually a professor or professeur teacher in French? I mean, it's Je suis prof d'anglais. I'm a professor of English, which means
Oh, so
I'm a teacher of English.
in French, it's actually professor. Yeah, professor
It means
is a
teacher.
teacher.
In French, everything is sexier, you know? Even a professor of English, you know?
A professor of English.
Not a teacher of English.
But wait a second. Let's get down to these concepts because I
Okay.
think they are worth separating. You know.
Mhm.
So let's agree then maybe that, yeah, if we had to make a distinction, I would probably say that instructor and trainer are more about, okay, either sports or activities that have clear instructions, like driving, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need to, I don't know, press, like this.
The pedal here, then, yeah.
Here, then you turn here, then this happens. Kind of.
Is it the same with skiing?
Kind of, yeah. So, I mean, at least at the initial stages, you know, if you want to know how to stop or slow down, you need to
how to turn,
and you need to. Right. So basically, there are some specific instructions that the instructor can give you, although still, I think you kind of then you have to figure out for yourself a lot of stuff. But yeah, so instructor and trainer would be for some, I don't know, more straightforward things. And then a teacher, we would agree, like we mentioned, the mind and the guidance. But then also teacher is a more general term. And having said all that, I'm sure that there just might be exceptions. That's why we say teacher trainer. No idea.
What do you think about this?
Maybe is it about the length of the course also? I don't know, like school teachers, like school education. I mean, it's a long thing. Whereas teacher training is usually like, I don't know, it's a course.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know how long can that last. I mean, it could technically be a long process, but I know about all because you've got all these certificates like Delta, Celta. You know, I have nothing of that sort. I don't know how long
it can last for forever. I mean, eternity if you want to, but then it would be broken down into courses. So it's not like at school, like an ongoing. I mean, it is an ongoing process, but with some breaks in between. Yeah? So these are different courses provided by different institutions.
What do you think about, this dissecting of teaching a language? We kind of teach skills, and we have these skills. And then we have systems, vocab and grammar. And essentially, skiing, driving, playing football, it's a skill. Right?
Yes, it's a skill.
But, I mean, math, is it a skill? History, it's not a skill.
Or is it a system? Yeah, or is it a system?
But in language, for some reason, we decided that, okay, reading is a skill. So let's teach it as if it is skiing, or...
But think about it. Yeah, like for reading, we kind of, I mean, when we teach the strategies, we give specific instructions. Yeah, like look at the keywords or find synonyms or disregard the words you don't know. So these are like specific steps that you should take in order to do the reading better, right?
Do you think it works? Can you improve your reading like you can improve your skiing skills if you follow, the instructions to the letter?
In a way, yeah, I would think like by following, like like when you prepare for IELTS, like one thing you need to do is, of course, to improve your general English knowledge, right? But then the other thing is, why not to get acquainted with different tips and tricks and specific instructions for each part, because there might be some hacks. Like they alone will not probably get you far, but combined with the knowledge of language.
Mm-hmm. And then, that I can say, if I'm, let's say, focusing as a teacher on teaching listening, I would call myself listening trainer. Or accent. I hear the pronunciation trainer, accent trainer. So they kind of take this one skill, teach only this skill, and they become trainers.
Yeah, I think it's a general trend in education right now that you're basically breaking.
Bite-sizing the
exactly that. Yeah, bite-sizing, or it's another way to say it is this granular curriculum
approach.
That basically you break the whole subject into parts, individual courses, and then somehow you expect that the students will master just one area, then the other one small area, and then somehow they'll get better.
Yeah, the
overall.
I kind of think started making, like, it's been making more and more sense to me recently.
All right. I can't say I'm a huge fan of that. However, once again, to me, it's just boring. I mean, because it's just kind of McDonaldization, of the teaching process.
Learning.
I just, you've got one guy, just, I don't know, frying fries, and another guy doing another thing, and it's like, it leads basically, what it leads to is that I think, I don't want to say a bad word here, but especially that Masha, is a policewoman here. But yeah, I would say that
political correctness.
No, but look, you don't need a great personality or anything on the part of the teacher to teach these little, bite-sized stuff. Actually, you can outsource it to the machine, to the application like Duolingo or something, because it's just a small skill, small kind of stuff that doesn't require a Buddha to be teaching you.
But then you finish. I'll try to hold this thought.
No, go on, Tamara. It's the floor is yours.
I was just thinking that in order to choose, like, if I'm a student and I'm choosing, like, okay, which bits I want to practice, which skills I need to practice, and you're saying that like, doesn't take much to be a teacher of such, I don't know, courses or something. But
just like Tamara,
that doesn't take much. It doesn't take a lot of personality. You said
a lot of
to illustrate my point. You don't need to be a cook to work in McDonald's, because all you do is you just cut the bread in half. That's all, because the other guys are doing other stuff. So
no creativity, or you mean?
Yeah, and the same in education. You don't need to be, like I said, a great personality or whatever, because all you have to do is you have to present this particular. It's like the Kalan method, if anyone is.
But isn't it all about personality now? I mean, like, people who make their courses now, like in
they
English,
basically sell their personality.
They sell their personality, and very often it would be just, I don't know. I would say that the most successful on this arena are not exactly. I mean, not the best teachers, but the best bloggers, right? So people who can
you mean
who attract
influencers.
Who attract the audience with the help of their bright personalities.
But wait, Tamara, you are measuring their success with the let's say profits that they make.
At the moment, yeah.
Because I don't know if this is the right criterion. I mean,
no, I'm not sure about that. I was just saying that because you said that. Okay, maybe I was just looking at it from the other side, like,
no,
why
I mean,
people choose particular courses.
When it comes to attracting learners or let's call them clients, I think your personality matters a lot. But when it comes to let's say the actual, this is a kind of
teaching.
Yeah, but then again, I wanted to say that personality matters too when it comes to teaching.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Like if I see a person like on Instagram and I want to buy a course from them, so I kind of know that they will be explaining. Maybe they don't write the scripts, right? That's the good point. Yeah, maybe they don't actually develop the courses themselves, but the talking head will be theirs, right? And that's what most of the learners are interested in. Yeah, they do not realize what happens like at the backstage, like how the course was actually developed. Not many people pay attention to because when I like let's say when I do courses in something, like I have two things I pay attention to. So I pay attention to the content for which I came on this course, but I also look at how the course is organized. Are there any techniques that are interesting? I can maybe use something in my work. So yeah, why I was saying this, I don't remember, but
no, I mean,
it happens all the time, believe me.
Yeah, I know. No, it's just a very interesting topic. Yeah.
No, we are still we are still trying to explore this concept of teaching, training, and I think that you know.
But Janek, what did you mean when you said personality of a teacher? What did you mean by that?
And this doesn't go without saying, does it?
Well,
I mean, I hate explaining because, I think, wow, this is complicated, because I guess teachers, like with the capital T, they have impact on their students that goes way beyond the subject matter, way beyond. And in fact, the subject matter is just a pretext for meeting, I mean.
So it looks like we're not using the term teacher kind of correctly anymore. We call anybody a teacher. And you only talk about teachers from capital with this, capital T.
So let's make a distinction between the capital T.
When he says teacher, he means Jesus, right? Not,
I mean, it's like a proto, not like it's or Socrates. You can find lots of teachers with capital T, but the thing is that the subject matter was never, let's say, the prime. I don't know actually if I'm right, but I'd say it wasn't actually the primary success or their primary success.
But then I'm not sure, but haven't their students found them? Like, I don't know, like let's talk about Jesus. Yeah. Haven't they? So haven't the shared values united them? So the interest in kind of the, but was it the subject or was it?
No, the idea was new. The idea was new.
Yeah, the idea
and
was
they
new.
were just eager. They were eager to listen to it. It's like, hey, this guy is telling us something.
The guy
new,
lured them into proper teaching with something, with something interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting. I think that it's maybe
if I think if we figure this out, then there's hope for us, because sooner rather than later, the Chat GPT will be doing everything. Apart from this, this teaching we can't put our finger on, And I think this is personality.
Yeah.
This is whatever you mean by this, because everything else, Chat will eventually be able to do better than artificial intelligence will be able to do better than we.
Or if not better, then at least cheaper, much cheaper, So.
Oh my God, yeah.
But then again, good point about ChatGPT. And if we think about it, what the thing it can't do? Yeah, let's think about things it can't do as for a learner.
Teacher. Yeah,
for a learner. Yeah, what can't a learner get from it? And maybe that's how we'll pinpoint. So what can they get from a person that they can't and will not be able to ever get from ChatGPT? So
I'll tell you. Okay, I'd like to try and answer just briefly. But I'd say that it cannot. I guess it cannot. It is your servant, you know. It's not an authority. It's your servant. Now teach me grammar. Teach me that. Teach me this, you know. Show me how it's done. And you, as the user of ChatGPT, you are in the position of the boss because you tell it what to teach you. And of course,
but you need to know, right? And you need to know what you want to ask. And for this, it's kind of
you need to know what you don't know.
Yeah, you need, and you need to know what you need, right? And this it cannot tell you, right? So you need to see the area for what's that? Who mentioned this concept? Was it also Lewis in his lexical approach, or was it Krashen before him about this, like a helping hand? So the role of the teacher is to provide input and then to show the gap between what a learner, so kind of, to identify and to help the learner see the gap between what they can do and the model, and between what they want to do. And then provide this, I don't remember exactly how it sounds. So they kind of provide the helping hand with getting from where they are to where they want to be. So identifying the gap.
But technology can do this. Yes, I asked it, can you please correct my English? And I gave it like a couple of sentences and says, yes, you should say this and this and this, and explains why and what I need to practice.
Why, yeah.
It gives great feedback, actually. Sorry.
No.
I would not. I mean, it's funny, because I remember that in my vast database of questions, there is a question like, can a dog be a teacher? So, Tamara, what about that? Can your dog teach you something?
Yeah, sure. Pretty sure it can. I'm thinking of getting a dog. Really want to, but then I don't know how it combines with my desire to travel. But so I've been reading about dogs.
It has to be a small dog.
Like really small.
So that you can hide it in the bag.
So I've been reading about dogs, and they say that dogs can teach you a lot. Yeah. And I believe in that.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, being happy for no reason or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very, very hard, right? For the instructor to do it. Right? No, I mean it, like, because you have to.
By the way,
I mean, there's no. I know if you can break it down to, okay, you have to feel like that at this particular moment or whatever. You just
no. I'm pretty sure if right now you ask ChatGPT, how can I learn to be happy for no reason? It will give you, a 5-step, 10-step plan. So,
all right.
But the dog, it teaches you without explaining stuff,
By setting example.
It doesn't even want to teach you anything. It's not its intention.
Exactly. It's not its intention because it's unaware of it.
But
it's teachers, okay. Yeah, but you know how they say that you cannot teach someone, but you can learn something. Yeah, so if you want,
you can't actually teach anybody anything.
To be to be taught, kind of, right? And then you're looking for possibilities. Also, kind of what came to mind is when I worked as a ski instructor, and when they were instructing us how to about the first lesson with the very, very first lesson, they told us that at the end of the day, what matters is how much fun the person had, because they reminded us that you're going to be working with beginners. Just keep in mind that not all these people want to become pro skiers. Just let it go. Just make it fun for them, so that they want. Because of course the company wanted to make money, yeah. So they want their clients to return.
Keep coming
every time,
Yeah, and they're going to return if they had a good time, and even if I don't know, the instructions, for example, were not the best, yeah, but if they had a good time. So I was thinking maybe about this emotion. Yeah, ChatGPT cannot give you emotion. although
It's really boring. You never have fun with ChatGPT.
Just wait till they have an
yes.
avatar, with a sexy lady or, of course, a gentleman. And, everything's possible. And a very soft voice, that could work.
You have
No,
made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that kind of, right, but Masha, you said that you can ask it about like, here's my text, can you correct it? And then it gives you and explains everything, but then it doesn't guide you to figure it out for yourself. And that's why you don't get this aha moment that a teacher can actually help you with. Yeah, the teacher can kindly guide you to discover something for yourself. And then
yeah, but again, remember how many students, like, honestly, did you have who tell you, just please stop doing your teacher stuff and just tell me, in plain text. There are a lot of people like this that they say just.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm not sure you
forget
can
about
actually
your guided discovery and just.
I'm not sure you
explain
can
it.
actually do it. Yeah. True. I'm just not sure it happens in the. It doesn't have to happen in the lesson exactly. It can happen in between. Actually,
Yes.
how my students get these aha moments in between the lessons. But then I'm sure that the input I provide, or the, I don't know, maybe something I show them, kind of guides them in at least like in the direction in where to look.
I was thinking, hoping a little bit that we're gonna be like really wiser after this conversation. But there are so many questions that are that are coming to my mind. Look at this. I thought that being a teacher requires certain qualifications, and education and so on. But at the same time, now we know that a dog could be a teacher, a street could be a teacher, everything could be a teacher, Maybe even ChatGPT could be a teacher, but not in that explicit way. But you could somehow
you can learn from it. Yeah, you learn something.
But usually I think teaching is a funny profession, because what you are aiming at is not necessarily what you produce.
You get.
Yeah. And so this teaching happens almost always as some kind of a byproduct. Because you may be like teaching biology, and talking about the photosynthesis and all this stuff, but what you are really doing is you're impacting those who listen to you in ways that go way beyond the process of photosynthesis. Yeah.
I noticed that, especially with children. You sometimes spend, I don't know, 2 hours preparing for a class and cutting stuff and God knows what, and it just falls flat, and the other day you come, after a party, hanged over, and it's a brilliant class because you just, I don't know, you're
relaxed, let it go.
Yeah, and you are yourself, and you let them.
I wonder. I mean, I wonder right now about the students. If they discover what teaching really is. I mean,
I hope they never will.
Oh, do you mean like if they know what they want? Like, do you mean if they understand what is involved in our job, or how to find or what they want from teaching?
If they ever find out that teaching is such a mysterious process that you don't really know what you're doing. I mean, you're trying your best, but you're not sure. I mean, and I think that's why people, but a lot of people from our profession kind of a dash to this coaching or training, because this is more predictable. I've got my training plan,
and definitely
if you follow these steps, you get these results. Yes. And I think it pretty much works like that. You've got a diet coach or whatever who tells you you have to eat this and that at these particular times of the day, and then you lose weight.
Then I would dream and I think many people would actually dream of finding a diet coach.
Yeah.
So finding a diet teacher, somebody who will actually inspire you to let's say eat healthily, or I don't know, something.
So it's inspiration you're looking for, not a meal plan.
Yeah, so meal plan. Yeah, you see.
But we also talk about.
A student of mine showed me how ChatGPT created a meal
plan. Yeah. I asked it.
However, why do you decide to eat healthily?
I think we are back to this, lasting effect of teaching, because we know people, well over, I don't know what, 60 and so on, who still remember their teachers from, the primary school, who said this or that, or of course, our parents who are our first teachers, right? And I think that teaching has a long-lasting effect, whereas instruction, I forgot what was I supposed to, put there or whatever, You need, unless you really memorize it. But no, I think that teaching, if you are taught, then it's part of you, this thing. Kind of, and it's with you forever, I guess.
You're aiming so high.
What?
Romanticizing teaching, but romantic view. I like it. I like this.
No, I mean, but now I think about the real meaning of teaching, right? Because it's once again we are today having problems to even define what teaching is, given there's coaching, training, and all this stuff,
But then again, we mentioned, because we mentioned inspiration. So of course, it would be a cliche to say that great teachers inspire or something like that. But then I think it seems to me like there must be something, I don't know, else, something more, because we have motivational speakers or something. Someone who can inspire but will not leave a long-lasting effect. So somebody can inspire you to act I don't know, at this specific moment, but I don't know, a year later you will not remember this person. Maybe.
Yeah, I know this feeling after reading a book. It's like, oh, I'm going to change my life now. I'm a different person, and then.
So inspiration is not enough.
Yeah. So there's something there is a secret ingredient, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we can't find it. It's secret ingredient.
I always, of course, the first thing which comes, you guys probably haven't seen this cartoon. It's a Panda Kung Fu First to Second, where this father told him that there is no secret ingredient. Have you seen this cartoon?
No.
He always said that one day when you're ready.
Wait, Masha, you have to explain it to our listeners. I mean, what is this Panda Kung Fu? What the hell is?
Come on, you guys don't understand cultural references. Okay, you've lost on it. No, forget it. Sometimes there is no secret ingredient.
Sorry, no, I'm totally, I'm totally,
out of context.
Thank God, Star Wars at least. He understands only Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
I like
yeah.
Fine.
So if you want to give an example, if you want to use metaphors, only Star Wars related.
Yeah, I have very limited choice, with this guy. Well, one day,
Sorry,
you have boys, so one day you'll watch this cartoon and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Fine.
It'll be your aha moment.
All right, great. But basically, okay. So wait a second. I'm thinking, because I think we are nowhere near any conclusion.
Nowhere near.
What's the difference between teaching and training?
Yeah.
We just have this vague concept that training refers to. Tamara, you said something that is.
Let's summarize. It's something more straightforward, maybe.
Yeah.
Masha said it might be more for skills than for general stuff. It might be also about to do with length. So how long the course is?
Not even, sorry, I'm interrupting and generally destroying the show. But what about these skills? Because everything could be considered a skill. Right now, I know that we talk about soft
Is thinking
skills.
a skill?
Yeah, I mean, is it?
I think is considered a skill.
It could be. I mean, everything could be a skill. What about personal culture? Is it
teaching
a skill?
I heard something like that. Sorry?
Personal culture. Is it a skill?
Personal culture. What kind of culture is that?
I mean, being polite and and
eat
knowing
with a spoon, not with
exactly.
I'm sure you can. So who would be that? Like people who teach you etiquette.
Your parents usually.
Okay, no, but there are some, like, if they haven't, for example, you want to know the nuances.
It's the savoir vivre, Savoir vivre, there are some rules,
trainer.
Yeah.
So or will they instruct you? So like you'll be like, if you're going to a ball, you'll be instructed on how to behave, So you're just gonna be giving a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, do this, do's and don'ts,
Well, you can learn how to behave in public, but it doesn't necessarily make you a, let's say, polite person inside. You just know what you have to do to
and that's what teaching is
in.
about, Masha, because teaching transforms you inside, and that just gives you, the external, you're right. You could be like super polite person because you know the rules of savoir vivre, and you know that you can't drink all that beer at once. Just
and you do it just because you want to fit in. That's it.
Yeah, but it's not part of your DNA. I mean, you are a totally different person, but you're acting like you're polite.
So,
but
what teachers change DNA?
They change DNA.
I'll never ever call myself a teacher again.
Yeah, never come close to a teacher.
No.
I don't want that responsibility to change somebody's DNA.
That's why the effect is long-lasting. That's why the effect is long-lasting because you change the person, you transform.
Oh my God!
And it's not like it's not just because trainers will never transform you. They will just they will give you that set of rules, and of course, if you stick to it, you give the impression of being skillful or whatever.
Can I ask the question then? Can you be a trainer and a teacher at the same time?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have an example. You don't know maybe because also it's the history of the Polish football, but we had a coach, Kazimierz Górski, who was called by the players. I think either a teacher or a father.
We have Lobanovsky, I think.
I think the same. I think
So
typical story
they were trainers or coaches, but their influence extended way beyond the football field.
So then teaching is and training is different, or teaching is more general than training? Is training part of teaching, or are they two different?
It very well could be. It very well could be. You train.
I think that the training is the subset, but. Yeah, I would say that. And usually, like I say, the field doesn't really matter so much. This is bizarre, but you can be like, you can be...
Like Mother Teresa was a teacher, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then again...
like, people loving is not a subject, right?
Yeah. So... And then, but you could, I think, exercise... influence teaching various subjects, your math teacher or chemistry teacher or whoever could have a long-lasting effect, It's really interesting. However, how do you do that? It's you can only do it by setting an example, which means that you have to be who you are, you have to be real. I think as a teacher, just like the dog, because the dog is always real. I mean, the dog can't be false, And that's why it can teach you, because the dog is so real, and this is a friend par excellence. It means that it's a perfect friend. Dog is a perfect friend. It cannot be I know. It cannot be otherwise.
Never suspect even like. But then I'm thinking that if it comes to like subjects, like traditional subjects, I'm not sure that someone could be my teacher if they weren't if they weren't trained and couldn't train me specifically in this subject. So I'm not sure that somebody would inspire me to learn English, no matter how cool and inspiring they were. If they
You're right. You're right. I mean, there is art and there is craft, and craft is important. You need to be a good,
at least for
craftsman.
these subjects that we're talking about. For some other stuff,
yeah, sure.
Like in some other spheres, there you can be a teacher without knowing these, I don't know, whatever. Probably it's just not. So it's not whatever. Like as I said, Mother Teresa or
Jesus,
or something like that. Jesus, yeah. So they didn't have a specific subject. They were like universal, right?
You mean that they didn't actually they weren't trainers? No part of them.
It wasn't an academic discipline, right?
Yeah. It was like life, It's like parents do, or
life coach.
Life coach. Yeah.
Coming back to lexical.
You're a step away from calling Jesus a life coach.
Life coach.
All right, but you see how ridiculous it sounds. It's kind of it's funny.
Yeah, I can imagine Jesus' Instagram.
Yeah.
Already. Like when I hear the word, it triggers.
Yeah. Wow, it's cool. Great. I mean, Masha, I don't know, where are we as far as this show is concerned, and the timeline, let's say.
Let's keep it bite-sized.
Time to wrap up, I would say.
All right, it's time to wrap up. Tamara, it's been a pleasure, listening to you and kind of not even telling us the answers, but generating this ferment, that's it was great, I'm leaving totally refreshed,
Yes, thank you so much also for asking such simple but such profound questions. And I'm sure that I'm gonna process it, and will some clever thoughts will come to mind, of course, after the end of this show. And I'm gonna say, but I haven't finished, I've had this idea. I'm gonna text you or Masha.
This is exactly what.
And I think it's a great.
Can you cut it and then paste it, please? I have the answer.
This is exactly what happens, to everybody. I remember also, our guests, contacting me later. You know what? I wanted to say this and that. I forgot.
But thanks. Yeah.
There is
the effect that
if you really find something like that you totally forgot to say, you can always leave us, I think, a voice message. Right now, there's an option like that. The link is under, this show somewhere in the description. So I recommend, adding something if it's really like, burning.
But for this, I have my Instagram. That's why I have my Instagram, where any burning issues, if I can't hold it, so I just.
So that's what it's for. And I was wondering why.
Yeah, mainly I would say. It's like for talking when nobody asked you, and for people choosing whether they want to listen or not.
Well, you talk about stories, Tamara?
Yeah, mostly story. But
I mean, they disappear after 24 hours. Yeah, so it's like.
Yeah, but you said it. And you satisfy the need, right, of sharing. And if somebody else, if it resonates with someone, they just let you know. Then somehow you develop this connection. But yeah. It
all right.
Plays its
right. Great. Thanks. Thanks so much. Masha, is there anything that we need to mention? Yeah, guys.
I think before the sacramental phrase, I think you have to mention something else.
Exactly. Because right now, I mean, we started last week. I started Buy Me a Coffee kind of campaign. I don't know what this is. It's not a campaign, but it's a service, you know. So if you appreciate, I mean, I'm talking to you, listener. If you appreciate what we are doing here, if you like our show, you can buy us a virtual coffee or a beer. Just click the link that is below and go to buymeacoffee.com. Thanks a lot. Or I guess it's also remember, Masha, we selected this strange form told. So it's actually buymeacoffee.com/told, like the third form of tell.
Nobody has to remember
Because
that. Just people
thinking
click.
out loud. It's like told.
Click, and that's it. It will take you.
Wait a second.
All right. Yeah,
just your domain, buymeacoffee.com.
No.
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 That's a separate thing, you know. That's a separate thing. It's just, you know, it's basically a way to reward the creators,
yeah, but then,
you know.
But then how do I find you there? Is it like a website for?
Yeah, we have some kind of sub website, whatever you call it, you know. But there is like the website of our
just write
show.
Talking Out Loud there, and for example, I find you.
Yeah, exactly. And our website, by the way, is studiomentals.com.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Masha, I think it's finally time for...
That's basically it for me. So this was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tamara, for being here. Thank you, Jędrek, for showing up and playing your console. And thank you, me, for recording this episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.